On the saltbush plains of southern New South Wales, a group of volunteers from all over southern Australia is pitted against the elements and the passage of time in a bold attempt to save one of Australia's most significant rural buildings.
We're in a desperate race against time to sort of try and preserve it at this stage.
Toganmain Woolshed, an extraordinary sprawling structure, is flanked by a host of outbuildings, kitchens, dining rooms and huts.
When you walk in here, you go, wow, this place is amazing. Such a spectacular shed. It's huge, 240 feet long, 80 feet wide. It's enormous. I've been in a lot of shearing sheds. This just takes the cake.
A mass of corrugated iron on the outside. On the inside, a matrix of timber, resembling an inverted wooden ship, because it said the shed was built by a shipwright.
We're in the Toganmain Woolshed, which is built in 1875. It's hugely historically significant. It's the fourth largest shearing sheds in Australia, still the largest standing shearing shed in the Riverina.
You get a sense of how sheep and the wool they produced was so vital to the prosperity and growth of the economy of early Australia.
I've not had anybody that's walked into this shed and not been totally blown away by what they've seen.
This woolshed is as remarkable as any building in any capital city anywhere in Australia. It tells the story of pioneer pastoralists, their industry, their energy and their ingenuity. And it's the wider story of the wool industry, all the way from its inception through to the modern era. Toganmain is enshrined in Australian folklore.
Holds the record for shearing over 202,000 sheep with 92 blade shearers, which has never been beaten. There's just so much attached to this place. Banjo Patterson wrote about it in Flashjack from Gundagai.
I've shorn at Barrabogie and I've shorn at Toganmain. I've shorn at Big Willandra and on the Coleraine. But before the shearing was over, I wished I was back again, a shearing with old Tom Patterson on the One Tree Plain.
Oh, all among the wool, boys, all among the wool. Keep your blades full, boys, keep your blades full. I can do a respectable tally myself whenever I likes to try. They know me round the country as Flashjack from Gundagai.
Just imagine what the scene must have been.
Astounding. It really is astounding. The mind boggles. I think about what sort of a place was it when they had 90 shearers at work. The place would have been a hive of activity. There would have been people everywhere.
That would have been amazing to see. Say perhaps 70 or 80 shearers shearing here with the blades. It's incredible, yeah. But I suppose that's what we're trying to preserve and bring back, I guess. Think of those sort of people.
Oh, mayhem. It'd be, everyone would be in this area here would be blade shearing. There'd be just the sounds of shears going, people running around picking up wool, running it up to the classes, sitting at his table, just working it all out. So it would be just people on top of people.
Toganmain Woolshed was the engine room of a massive sheep property that required a small army of shearers and other workers. With so many surrounding buildings, it resembled a village.
Then they would have bakers and everything that came on site, the cooks. So there's a lot more than just the shed history. There's a lot that goes along with it all. So, and that's history that people need to know about.
And it's also got historical significance for the Australian labour movement, for the Indigenous groups around here that worked at this place. So it means a lot to a lot of people.
The homestead and outbuildings have long gone, but the giant woolshed and cluster of huts have survived, though only just. The last full shearing took place here in 2002, before the station owners moved to a modern woolshed on a neighbouring property. 2 decades of neglect means the elements have taken a toll. precariously frail and vulnerable. They're one severe windstorm away from oblivion.
Every time we have a windstorm or it rains, I think, oh my God, how much more have we lost?
In the past few years, about 50 volunteers have come to the rescue, united by a common belief to preserve this heritage at all costs.
Just trying to ram home how significant this place is and just how much history is sitting in this building.
I think you can easily sort of forget about the people that did the hard yards years ago, and the shearing industry was full of that. I've got some amazing memories, and a lot of the fellas I worked with here, you know, really shaped my life, if you know what I mean, you know, like they were mentors.
The task is daunting. The sheer size of the Toganmain Woolshed makes it one of the biggest rural restoration projects ever seen in this country. This weekend working bee, one of many in recent years, is a containment operation. Propping up and buttressing the main beams that have sagged, cracked or been chewed by termites. Getting rid of the blowgrass that has blown in from the plains for a start.
We've got people from different aspects of different parts of the world and livelihoods. We've got the young, we've got the old. None of us are overly qualified in certain things, but we're all willing to get in and have a go.
They're sealing and reinforcing the cluster of buildings, the huts, kitchen and dining room that house the workers. Many just as frail and dilapidated as the woolshed.
Definitely. I know that all the work that I've done here this weekend has been related to sealing up windows, sealing up doorways, just to keep, firstly, all this weed that you've probably seen around the place. The rooms have just filled up with it, and it keeps the weather out a bit.
Retired Adelaide teacher Rolf Greenham's fascination with the shed began when he passed this way many years ago.
We've secured a few sheets of iron, covered a few holes, but that's all been in the shearers' quarters. We haven't looked at the shed yet, and there are great gaping holes in it.
There's camaraderie born from a common goal and from the gatherings around the campfire or barbecue at the end of the working day.
We have a great time, and the connections we make and the friends we've made through this have been wonderful.
Wonderful group of people, and to meet them and work with them has been fantastic. Some of the people who've been coming here took photos 20 years ago, and they've said that it's just deteriorated so much it's unbelievable. And I had no idea how badly it had been affected by the ravages of time until I came around the back. It doesn't look so bad from the road.
Stan Walters, a shearer for 17 years and a union organiser for just as many, remembers his shed in full flight back in the mid-1980s. By then, mechanisation meant the labour force was a shadow of its original size. But by any measure, it was still big.
In my time, it was 14 stands. The last shearing that I came to was above that. I think there was somewhere along the line of 20-odd shearers.
One person who remembers the shed during the wool boom years of the 1950s is 100-year-old former shearer's cook, Jim Marr. He fed a mountain of food to up to 40 hungry men on his own.
So, Jim, what was Toganmain like in your day?
The old kitchen was pretty primitive. Yeah, it had, you know, the big old open fire. Yeah, and the brick ovens. So there's run around about 40 shearers. It was pretty flat out to cook. You'd be up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Jim's working day finished at 9 at night, 7 days a week, a job he did for 9 months of the year.
Talking to these old blokes, you know, you just want that lively thing to come through.
The quest to preserve Toganmain began a decade ago when a committee, including heritage architect Peter Freeman, approached the owners, Paraway Pastoral, a division of Macquarie Bank, one of Australia's largest banks. Paraway promised in 2017 that it would gift the shed and a 6-hectare parcel of land to the Friends of Toganmain, with the eventual aim that the restored buildings in the precinct would become a museum. And a new committee was formed, with Christine Cherwin at the helm. But time ticked on without progress on the land titles, to the great frustration of the Toganmain volunteers. For every year meant the historic structure fell into greater disrepair.
Was gradually deteriorating, and then 2 years of really wet years, and it's rapidly deteriorating now.
Making their challenge even more formidable.
Because it's taken so long, it's blown out considerably.
What it may cost to restore is anyone's guess, but in recent months, one crucial task has been completed: getting the roof back on, bolted down and made waterproof.
Oh, really important, because, as you know, water, once you get water coming in, you get all the problems connected with that. White ants, rot, you name it. It all starts from that.
And a few weeks ago, the Friends of Toganmain got the news they'd been so keenly awaiting for so long. The title deeds were transferred to them.
Just having the title is just such a relief. So we now can move forward with getting this heritage listed, and that way that should open us up to some larger grants.
So now it's full steam ahead, but it'll also require experts in restoration and building. Indeed, anyone who can render assistance to firstly preserve, then restore these buildings.
Hopefully the word will get out that it's a pretty pleasant way to come and do a bit of volunteer work and see some results.
Whether the stumps underneath are sinking. Yeah. So they've been jacking them up underneath, and there's plenty of room. Bloody no drama of getting under here and doing it. Yeah, people volunteering time, donating stuff all the time, just because they all, at the end of the day, want to see what we want to see.
Have you ever had doubts of, oh gosh, is it too late to save?
I won't allow myself to have those doubts. It does keep you awake at night some nights, but I'm a firm believer you've got to give things a go. If we fail, we fail, but it won't be for want of trying, let me tell you, from a very dedicated group of volunteers who come from far and wide to come here.
Yeah, it's pretty run down, but at the end of the day, we can see what we can end up with. So, yeah, and we'll just keep going and going until it's done.
If Toganmain Woolshed is impressive, so too is the dedication and drive of those determined to save this priceless part of our rural heritage.
And the work they've had to do, my mind boggles really how they do it.
Next year, Toganmain is 150 years old. We'd like to have a birthday party for that and be able to offer accommodation in the shearers' quarters. Just to educate the new generations about what these places were like.
In time, Jim Maher's memorabilia will also be displayed in the original kitchen, where he toiled all those years ago.
I think preserving history is a great thing, yeah.
And future generations will be able to visit and marvel at this woolshed, with gratitude to those whose mighty efforts will have saved it.